what's up guys? My name is Zach and today I am driving a 2006 Saab 9.3 Aero. Up front is a 2.8 liter turbocharged V6 and down below is a 6-speed manual transmission. Now I am super excited to be driving this Saab 9.3 Aero for two reasons. First of all, I have declared 2025 Year of the Saab here on the Shooting Cars channel. I've reviewed a handful, I'm reviewing a handful more, and we're really gonna dive into the old Swedish company. But the second reason is the fact that we are in Chicago, my home base, and I don't ever film downtown proper because it's normally a headache, but I've decided to bite the bullet here today and enjoy a little bit of the Windy City. But if you would like to submit your own vehicle and have it reviewed here on the channel, you can head on over to my website, zackpradel.com/submit. It's a quick and easy submission form. It takes under a minute to fill out, and I come out to you. But let's get back to that 2.8 liter turbo V6 under the hood. Well, that was the highest option, and I've only ever driven the turbo inline 4 Saabs from this era. This V6 is awesome. It is so good. Not only do you get a little bit of whine, but it just adds a lot more premium of an experience. A premium experience that a 4-cylinder turbo can't really mimic. And that's going to kind of be the overarching feeling in this video, is that this car is really nice and punches way above its weight class in several different categories, but the engine is most certainly the start of that. Like I said, paired to it again is a 6-speed manual. It feels good. Not quite on the level of Japanese cars, but definitely very adequate compared to European cars like BMWs, Audis, and Mercedes. It's a little stiff and unfriendly, but those transmissions tend to be. It's smooth. Might not be the happiest, but it's smooth. And it's engaging, which is the most important bit. Last but not least, the Saab 9.3 Aero is front-wheel drive. How does it feel to drive the Saab 9.3 Aero? Well, like I said, it is a very premium experience. Visibility is good. Throttle response is great. There's not a whole lot of turbo lag because you have that V6 helping out at the bottom end. That's the nice thing. The 6 cylinders is great at the low end. The turbo is great at the high end, so you just have a great rev range. And it makes me giggle even trying to fight the traffic getting onto Lakeshore Drive. It puts a smile on my face. Oh man, everything feels very well thought out, and again, that will be a continuing theme. Ugh. Sorry, my view was just distorted by that. Some Lakeshore Drive action for you. Woo, chirping tire. Getting squirrely on cold tires here on Lakeshore Drive, but it's there. It's a rocket, man. I love it. I really love it. And this car wants more. It wants to take you on that magic carpet ride, and if you let it, oh, it'll go. It will go. With that stuff out of the way, let's talk about the interior. Well, in front of me, I have 5 gauges. Off to the left is my tachometer, and the center is my speedometer, and off to the right is my coolant temperature, turbo pressure, and fuel. On the steering wheel, on the left, we have our Seek Track, Next, and phone options, and off to the right, we have volume source and voice commands. And off to the left, we do have a climate vent. Love this design that Saab did. Very interesting. And down below, we have the fog light switch, headlight switch, and rear fog light switch. Moving on to the door, we do have the power mirrors up top, power locks, and power windows down below. Moving into the center, up at the very top, we do get a little information center for the time, temperature, and things like that. But then as we move down the center console, we have our radio, climate vents, information switch, all of these fantastic buttons. To my shock, it actually doesn't feel too crowded here on the dash, as I would assume it would with this many buttons. But of course, we have to talk about my favorite button that I can actually show you this video, which is the night panel. So Saab used to build fighter jets, and in combat, you don't want all these lights to give away your position to the enemy, so you could shut off the non-essential instruments. Well, you could also do that in your Saab 9.3. So here it is on, and then when you hit the button, boom, all you get is your speed up to a certain point. So if you're cruising on the highway at night, you can shut it all down and go into stealth mode, which is just so cool. Is it super useful? Not really, but it's cool nevertheless. We do get a cup holder that pops out of the dash, which is very, very cool in the way that it works. However, it's not very accommodating, especially to the big friggin' bottle.
No Frills American Rock in Wrigleyville. It's Los Lobos, recorded live at Metro, October 3rd, 1996.
Down below that, we do have our climate controls. We get dual zone climate here back in 2006. We have heated seats and we have a CD player. 12-volt outlet is found down below that with some cubby space and the shifter. The shifter does feel premium. It feels nice, mainly because they use two different color plastics, but you would not believe how much that does for the feeling of an interior. Just the fact that they used a second plastic color is already head and shoulders above some of the competition. Then in the center, you'll find your ignition switch. So this was another Saab feature that they are very famous for. You would actually turn the key in the center of the car. Very, very interesting there. Then we get another cubby space and the center console with nothing too crazy there. The seats are comfortable. They are leather. I love this light interior. I really, really enjoy that in this car, and I think it's aged really well. It still feels classy and luxurious, even now, 19 years later. Very impressive. They're comfortable, and I enjoy them. However, speaking of seats, we do have back seats. So let's go do a backseat review. All right, we're in the back of the 2006 Saab 9.3 Aero, and a couple of things to note. Got lights up here. Knee room, fine. Headroom is okay. I am starting to hit the ceiling. We can move these headrests up. It's a little bit more comfortable, but still, I'm just coming a little close. I'm 5'11", not a small guy, and that's very apparent, but I do fit back here. Similar BMW 3 Series, can't necessarily say the same thing, so that is a big plus. We do have a center console back here, just a big cushy brick, but that is pretty much it. That is the back of the Saab 9.3 Aero. Not the greatest, not the worst, but it's here. Let's go look at the trunk. Right around the back of the Saab 9.3 Aero, we do have a trunk button here on the key fob, but it doesn't pop it up all the way. You just pull it up the rest of the way. We do have some floor mats in here for safekeeping. Obviously, that's not their original position. And we do have buttons in here to release the second row of seats. But beyond that, nothing too crazy. It's not the biggest trunk I've ever seen in the history of the world, but here it is in the Saab 9.3. Now we gotta talk about the looks, and I like the 9.3, especially the Aero, especially with the added little, not body kit, but it has a little bit more flair to it. I just drove a 9.5, and I think the 9.3 was a lot more pretty of a vehicle. I would look at this all day. I would hang a picture of this in my bedroom, where the 9.5 of the same year, I probably wouldn't. I like the wheels too. I think they're big enough without being gaudy dub 22s. I don't know. I think it's really simple and sweet, and I like that in a car. With all of that being said, let's get on to my final thoughts. What do I think driving a Saab 9.3 Aero from 2006? Well, I have to say, this might be my favorite Saab I've driven. Now, I've been fortunate to drive a handful here on the channel, and I'm thankful for every owner that has offered me one. But this 2.8 V6 is luscious, it's exciting, it's determined, and I love that. And I think the overall interior is a really nice space to be in, even 19 years on. For simplicity's sake, let's say 20 years onward, I think this is still a good, luxurious place to be. It still drives fantastic. And let's not forget, ladies and gentlemen, this has 116,000 miles on it. This is no spring chicken. This isn't factory fresh, and yet it feels that way. It drives that way. Now, a lot of that is the owner takes care of this thing, you know? That is a big part of what makes this car good. But at the end of the day, this car has just stolen my heart. More so, the 2.8-liter turbocharged V6 has stolen my heart. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Huge thank you to Chris for letting me borrow his Saab 9.3 Aero for today's video. Chris has been absolutely wonderful to work with. We have filmed several of his vehicles here today, and I appreciate him being so accommodating and such a wonderful host. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to rate the video, comment on the video, and subscribe if you really liked it. Take care, guys.